Previously on Grace Doing Things.
I actually managed to make it into finals in the Women's B category. Hey, wonderful people! Before we proceed, let me explain the finals format. Similar to World Cup style, each competitor has 4 boulder problems and 4 minutes per boulder to try as best as possible to get to the top. The order of attempts is also backwards, where the top ranked person in the qualification round goes last. Since I ranked 5th out of 6, I got to go 2nd, which was great. As soon as the competition started, we were asked to go into the isolation zone. This is a place where you are bunched with all of your fellow competitors and you just sit there in silence awaiting your climbing fate. I'm just kidding. The isolation zone is essentially an area where you can do some warming up or stretching, and your view of the climbs is blocked, so you can't pre-solve the problem/cheat. Soon after, we were called out and introduced to the crowd. After that, as a group, we also got a minute per boulder preview of these problems that we were going to be attempting. Although I may look extremely knowledgeable with my fancy hand movements and quizzical face, to be honest, I just had no idea what I was doing here. I also have terrible memory, so that partnered with the nerves resulted in my mind completely blanking out during this whole process. So, with nothing in my brain, a little bit shell-shocked by how hard the climbs looked, I followed the others back into the isolation zone to await my bouldering fate. Also, something I wanted to point out retrospectively was that I had no idea that I was supposed to face my judge before the timer started on my attempts. I think I was so nervous that I blocked everything out of my mind, including instructions as well, apparently. So you can see me stare straight at the problems pre-climbing, pre-timer, blissfully unaware of anything. Well, at least I'll remember for next time. Now's the fun part, let's get into the climbing. Problem number 1 was a slopey orange-blue climb.
You can use strong loops to instrument sound. You can use strong loops from any song. You can use strong loops to instrument sound. You can use strong loops and start jamming.
Hey friends, this part's gonna be like a little bit of what was I thinking in that moment sort of reflection, so we'll watch the boulders together and we can pause on some parts that are relevant, and yeah. So, key points for boulder number 1. Okay, just the beginning part is like, obviously I tried to do a static beta at first, and in my mind here I was just thinking, oh my goodness, there's no way I can like go to these slopers, they just look so bad. And I don't know, when you're standing from the ground you're kind of like, is this gonna work? I have no idea, and also time's running out. And because it was my first boulder, I kind of freaked out and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna try static beta because I don't think I'm gonna make those slopers. So I tried to do the static beta, which is like me going here, and that didn't work out. But I was pretty keen on doing the static beta again, but I decided, okay, I'm just going to give the dyno beta one go. And in this part here, you can just see me sort of staring at the wall. That's because some of my friends who have done comps before kind of told me, like, if you fall off, like, don't get back on straight away. You kind of need to think about it, take a step back. So just remember that. That's why when I came off here, I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna stare at the wall a little bit and like decide. So in that moment, I kind of decided, okay, I'm gonna give this dyno one really solid effort. And there I go. So I end up hitting it, so that's great. The holds actually feel quite nice. This part, I ended up doing a drop knee, which you can see here. So I do a drop knee right here to help me get here to that next hold. And I think I've seen people also do a knee bar there. I'm not sure if that was intended, but I didn't really need that. I just kind of followed my body. So that was this climb. The rest of it was just like really careful feet, but they were all pretty positively facing, sort of juggy, slopey. So that was good. And then I made it to the end. So yeah. Good job, Grace. For climb number 2, I was faced with this crimpy, slabby green number.
You can use song loops and instrument sound. You can use song loops from any song. You can use song loops and instrument sound. You can use song loops and start jamming.
Moving on to boulder number 2. Okay, that was my first attempt just then. So we'll just go back a little bit. Okay. First attempt, I kind of step up and like misjudge the holds. I can clearly see there are 2 blocked crimps together right here. But I'm like, oh yeah, it'll be fine. I'll just step up and try and feel it. So I kind of just did it quite quickly. And then I was like, yeah, no, okay, I need to step up slowly. Like, don't just like bounce off the feature. You kind of need to be really strong on your feet and go up and then catch these 2 crimps. And then going sideways, I just went slowly again just to make sure that I wasn't flying anywhere. This part was relatively okay. I really liked that there was a really high heel hook and then it turned into a mantle, which was great. This next part is a bit cruxy because it's like dodgy feet and then your left hand is also slightly awkward. So I was like full span, I would say, just sort of like reaching to this left hand hold, which ended up being quite bad. It wasn't like, didn't really have much of a lip or anything. So I was kind of just like reaching there and hoping that I wouldn't fall off. So I kind of stayed and kept my hips really close into the wall, as you can see here. And the worst part is just the feature is like in your face. So you're kind of like facing outwards when you're on the slab. That was a bit tricky. And then my right hand was down, so I kind of needed to put it back up. And then the next hold that you go straight for, I had a bit of trouble as well, because the thing is with comp boulders, you have no idea like what the hold, especially like since it was my first one, you have no idea what the hold feels like. So you're just kind of like, is it good here? Is it good there? Well, I guess I'll just find out. So I kind of just slowly went up and like felt around and found that the right side was the best, although these crimps are tiny. And then I sort of just used the second last hold as an intermediary to bump to the end, which was on top of a feature, which was nice. And then I just sort of like leaned over and matched, and yeah, that one was good. I think it was definitely more my style, but it was a bit scary just because it was like sideways and you were like, I'm gonna fall off the wall. So yeah, that was that. Coming into climb number 3, I knew it wasn't going to be easy.
You can use song loops and instrument sound. You can use song loops from any song. You can use song loops and instrument sound. You can use song loops and start jamming.
And now moving on to boulder number 3. This part is hilarious because I didn't really read the boulder either. I kind of just hopped on and I didn't realize that the start hold's only on the right hand hold, not on both of them, because that's where I started. I had my left hand on this bottom one, but it's actually not a start hold. So my judge had to call me back and tell me that it was not the case. So that was just, yeah, me being like, what did you say? Like, I was like, anyway, so yeah. This one was also something that I didn't really plan. I just kind of had the mindset that I was like, just go up, whatever feels good, just go, get your feet up. So that's kind of how I approach this one. I do personally like a lot of crossing. I didn't expect to cut there, so again, I put my heel hook up straight away because I knew that one of my weaknesses is me going up slightly inclined walls and then not really using my arms so much because I just don't have a lot of arm strength. So I like to get my feet up and my hips close to the wall so I don't really have to use that much effort. So as soon as I cut here, I was just like, okay, bye, we're putting the feet up. And then I don't know why I decided to put my right heel hook up as well, because I feel like that was just like extra security despite it like being above my head. So I put that up, ended up being great because this hold that I go to, it's actually really bad. So I end up just backtracking and being like, okay, I'm not gonna do that. So match and then reach for the next one, which is the zone hold. This hold's also bad. Like these holds are like blocked off crimps. So you kind of need to just hold like one side of the crimp. Luckily I had both my feet up. So I just kept going, keeping my hips really close to the wall and just moving my feet up so I don't have to jump or go so dynamically to the next part. And then I sort of did like a layback situation and reached for this hold here, which was fine. The next part going up to this hold is just super hard. And this actually, my first hit on this, I didn't actually touch the edge of the crimp. I was holding not on the lip. And so you kind of see me like bump again twice to find where I needed to hold. And so that was a bit of a struggle. Like in my mind, I was like, oh God, like don't fall off now. But luckily I managed to find quickly where that nice part of the hold was. And I think because the rest of my body was already really high up, I was less likely to fall off. I mean, I definitely could have fallen off as well. And then I just stuck my right foot. And then the next part was also a bit reachy. It's kind of like you look, you can't really see, but you're feeling sideways for that crimp again. And the end was good. So yeah, I think this climb was probably like my hardest climb, but I'm very glad that I did it. And finally, for climb number 4, probably the only time I listened to any instructions about facing my judge.
You can use song loops from any song. You can use song loops to instrument sounds. You can use song loops to start jamming.
And finally, moving on to the last one. This one definitely looked like a slopey, dynamic sort of one. I actually ended up going up statically because they had such nice high feet. So I did that, but I didn't expect to barn door. So as soon as that happened, I was like, oh God, like you better pinch this. And then I sort of stabbed and then hopped a few times to just get my foot in the right, and my body in the right position. The next part was high feet. And obviously I knew the high feet were there for a reason, like they put you in the right place, but I was like, no, I don't want to use high feet. But I ended up doing so because I really didn't have a choice. I was just like, put it up there. So at this point you feel like quite pushed out because your body is like really one-sided. And then the next move is like going up again with your feet on the opposite side. So you kind of really need to like counterbalance everything. But luckily that left hand hold is not bad. So it was like a crimp, like blocked between two holds. And then the rest, as soon as I got there, I kind of just pushed through my feet, trusted them, and then went to the top of the feature, which I knew was gonna be good. And then that last hold there is really nice. So I kind of just reached there, did a little bit of a frog, and then matched. And that was it.
In second place. Oh no. Scratch that. In first place, tied. We had Grace
Doing things.
and Sophia. Give it up for our open beat men. Okay, that's enough.
Oh my goodness, so exciting and also a bit terrifying. It was definitely something that I was really scared of trying, but the whole experience of a competition, especially finals, is just another world. Like, I can't think of a time that I had to replicate this experience, and especially with climbing, I feel like it's so unique. You don't really get to practice before you start. It's like, all right, you're here now. You just gotta do your best, and if you fall off and land flat on your face, like, you just have to get up and do it again. So I think in a way it's a great resilience exercise. Upon reflection, I am pretty happy with how I did in the competition. I'm mostly proud of myself because I went out there and I tried it and I didn't fall apart when I challenged myself. And I think that is really great for my own personal growth. If you are interested in trying on a competition and you're scared or you don't know what to expect, I would just encourage you to go and do it. You might really surprise yourself. There are so many people out there that I got to meet during this process who I felt very lucky to have climbed with. This was definitely a great experience. So I hope that was conveyed through this little video series. So let me know what your favorite boulder was down in the comments below, and I hope to see you in the next one. Have a wonderful day. Bye. Nighttime, sugar? Say hi to the people, sugar. Oh my goodness, she's so cute. Hey people, I am Sugar. Look at my big belly. Her cat is really in the way. There's no hands cat holding. Bye. She hates me now.